It's January 31st, 2024. I'm in this um, in New York. And so I was on Zoom call today, calling in with Zion, the local Episcopalian church. And there was this passage of flesh and like whatever this was, and the body and the blood and whatever, and they went into the conversation about whatever, and then the conversation morphed a little, where I am in New York City at the moment. Again, this idea of success, and at what point does success look like succession or an attempt at succession, or staged neuroses causing like a necrotic tissue that then starts to fester and look like something else, and what stage of a decay process is one in. I was listening, also balancing out the See the BS in the morning with News Nation, and then the late night show in the media, and then trying to thread together the momentary consciousness of like, what are the artists in the media department trying to convey or speak of in New York at the moment? Not sure. This barragement I wrote this morning, I'm not sure, is it red versus blue? Because there's purple, and then where is there purple? I don't know. It's not an official anything. Then there's this, could it be like railways, cargo, ocean, like sports? Like, where is it? I don't know, like, where to rest the. So, they had out something about Elon Musk with Neuralink, and where's my medical at the moment. My eyes are having, my ocular is having trouble focusing just to like read, like paperback read. Also, balance wise in the environment, of like the space that I inhabit, and then so he puts on this Neuralink with this brain chip, whatever. So that's like, okay, so if that was a hand raise to like document where you're at the moment without any such lavish procedures, that whatever's going on, um, my my phosphorus is back into a normal range according to the last blood test, which was last week. But my glucose came back high. First time I've ever heard of it. He sent me a copy of the blood results. Didn't the doctor himself, who teledocs, did not tell me anything. It says on it high glucose, but he didn't discuss that as a nephrologist for some reason. Did not suggest I go to see a endocrinologist. Um, Nothing. Just mailed me the paper and says, as far as nephrology goes, you're back in normal range. Um, so there's that. And then, but I'm having this ocular problem. I see today in Congress they're putting up that it's glaucoma month or something. and I am having this haziness in my eyes. The tongue is going numb. I don't know why. It's nothing that I'm purposely ingesting. I don't know if it's something in the food that's being bought at the local food store. Again, that's supply chain issues. I don't have control over that. And I don't know who was hired for that level of security to make sure that our food that's coming in is safe and secure. Um, which is how scary this really gets at ONE, and in God, in God we trust, at one General George Washington. He was also the first president. That's all I know. And knowing that I have this rare blood type and I also have this clock feature. Um, so the eyes are almost getting like this haziness. There's no doctor to ask on it. I've gone to see the eye doctor. Like, there's no, you're deficient in something. Like, there's no, I mean, like, they're capable of taking blood. They're just, for some reason, they're just not giving me any responses. Yesterday I took a whole, what's being advertised as commercial. There was some mention of pink eye and then Graves' disease. Um, there's some new thing about a Mayo cat. I really don't know. Again, I don't follow these things. So back to the phone call with the church. Um, in the area, she kept mentioning kosher, and I'm like, now I've heard of something called kosher, only really in the city. I never heard it on Long Island. Um, and then now all of a sudden they have something called a halal. The hell are these things? Like, again, I wrote this morning that I was dumped by college and then blocked by university, which I don't quite understand that either. Um, but when I say dumped, I mean like it feels like just almost exiled. Like, why couldn't college take me in and elevate me and keep me close? Why was I just thrown out, like almost thrown out with the trash? It doesn't make sense, but here we are. Um, and so, um, so there's that. And then there's this store I walked into, which I couldn't read the scripts. It wasn't English, didn't know what it was. And it was by foot, because that's what's creeping into this area. And I'm like, I can't read that. What does it mean? He said something about taste of three, and I'm like, now are we talking like taste, like, but like by the eye, or there was a cat involved in it? Again, it's not my culture, so it makes absolute no sense to me what they're all up to. Um, and so this gets very confusing, but it does speak to the level of um, whatever's going on at the whatever, while I'm here. Um, Again, Monopoly has the word mono and has the word poly. I don't, and then there's some kind of game, like the Late Late Show is showing like Lady Liberty, like give me you're poor, you're sick, you're tired, whatever. And then something called a jigsaw that's like you want to play a game, and like I again, not movies that I've seen, um, but it's stuff that goes on right now. So it's just like this culmination of swirling stuff, and then having trouble holding that thought, like just not being as sharp as I used to be, and certainly not what I was capable of. But again, I have broken a leg at the moment. I'm on crutches, and I'm at like it feels like I'm subjugated to whatever quality medical care, and then I don't know their personal political affiliation, or how they might want to help us, how they might want to hurt us, how they might want to subjugate us into some research like program that they got funded for, that flew them here in droves, and who allowed such things. These are things that are very concerning to me. Um, but I don't know how to voice it properly. So the Mother Lindsay was leading the conversation, and she was talking about depression and medication, and I'm like, going back to like the drinking beauty in through the eyes, like when it suddenly becomes very oppressive, and all of the beauty is taken out of the area, um and you're forced almost into this oppressive state. It does look like depression. Again, that would be like a statistical, graphical, clinical explanation for it. But by no mistake, sex slavery and um, and oppression does exist. And the more I analyze my own situation, the more it is looking to be grave danger, and that should be intolerable, especially at it looks like somebody's looking to do a reformation, but even that is supposed to be a controlled area, and I don't know who stays on top of that or who's in charge of that. um so that's concerning for area management and no contact. um so I I said to her, I was like, it really is difficult, because it is very depressing when you look around, there's no beauty anywhere. I mean, like, even in the mirror at this point, like, there's no money, there's no cosmetics, there's no like. And then for the glaucoma part of it, and this inability to hold thought properly and to itemize it. And again, at shuttlecraft, or the theory of shuttlecraft, should somebody be so part of something else outside of whatever this cage is that they built, and knowing how one gets there, um, in a kind of sort of but not really way, these answers are crucially important. But it's like, I don't know who's trolling. Like, I hear these words about technology. I'm not up with the trendy kids. I really would not make, like, this video diary would not exist if I wasn't in such horrible, debilitating, almost like defranchised methods or attempts by something that's functioning within the system. Um, and I don't know who takes care of that level of defense, to protect the Americans and to protect the North Americans. Um, so I don't know who to address on that. Somewhere in the system, there's a living legend of Thomas Jefferson. I met with such a person once upon a time. Um, but at that point, none of this had really come into any type of clarity. Now that my health is deteriorating, and what feels like quickly, I also was not nearly this size as far as endocrine goes. But it's just, it's so many layers of problem management, problem solving. I mean, I get at like high mathematica and at quantum mechanics, it's really easy on someone's machine at like parks and recreation level to just click a few buttons and figure things out, but that's not where the majority lives. So I don't know how to call out to that level of "in God we trust," knowing that special bloodline within a designated monetary system on file within the United States of America is important. Um, they mentioned something about a civil war. Um, and I'm just like, civil war? Is that then Reformation? And again, it's like, is it the blue line? Is it the red line? Is it a donkey? Is it an elephant? Is it a rhino they throw out there, even though that's not a party that you can like officially register with? Um, it is just like so many layers of, is it African? Is it Middle Eastern? Is it Latin? Okay. And then like they I don't know, with migration and time dilation, it's like, wait, you're calling that a European? No, that's not a European. That's it's just, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. And when it's this broken and this wide scale broken, you need a place to begin. It's star 1978, Stargate 378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. And it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.